Now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, Ken, thanks very much. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. 412-575-2600. That's always the number to call on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. Tweet us at KDPomp, at Paul Zeise. Hey, there's a big football game in town this week. It's the Steelers and the Seahawks, and kind of a redemption week for the Steelers after getting the butts handed to them in New England the other day by 30 points. And you got to believe this team will use that as motivation moving forward against a very talented and good Seattle team. A Seattle team we don't see too often around here at Heinz Field, but when they normally get together, you can see a lot of explosive plays, and I assume we're going to do that this week, because you both have Ben Roethlisberger for the Steelers, and you think he's going to be much better than he was the other day, as this whole team should be, against Russell Wilson, whose team was trailing late in the game against Cincinnati before they came out with a big play to win it, as he goes to Tyler Lockett. So Paul Zeise of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, 93.7 The Fan is here, and I think this is a very interesting opener for the Steelers. It's not your normal run-of-the-mill team you should beat and favored by, 8, 10 points. This is a very good football team that has aspirations to go deep into the playoffs just like they do.
Yeah, and I think Russell Wilson's one of the more underrated players in the league. I really do. I think he's a very, very good quarterback. We talk about all these great quarterbacks in the league. He's one of those guys you almost forget about. And then I think that, the thing that would alarm me if I'm a Seahawks fan is they got lit up last week by Andy Dalton a little bit. So maybe there's some opportunity there for Ben Roethlisberger in the passing game to get on, to get on track and get it going. I just think, we watched what happened in week one. A lot of times, there's an evening out of things. There's
also an overreaction.
Right, exactly. But for instance, I don't anticipate the Ravens are going to win by 50 or whatever they won by this week. I think the Titans are going to be way overvalued this week because they went into Cleveland and won that game. I think they'll come back to earth. And I think when the Steelers, they're a good team with good players. They're going to figure it out, and, it might take them a week or two. But they're completely different from the standpoint of they don't have that one superstar receiver. So they're trying to fill a lot of roles with guys that haven't played before.
And that one superstar receiver has made a difference and was clearly missed the other day, because it didn't look like, after Juju Smith-Schuster mostly drew single coverage with their defensive back over there, Gilmore, who's really good. There was not many other guys stepping up. And I would expect this week, Paul, to see some adjustments there. I would expect Deontay Johnson and James Washington to take over bigger roles. I also hope they don't ignore the tight end spot.
Right.
Largely in that game, Vance McDonald was invisible, wasn't really targeted all that much, or when he was, it was sort of late in the game. That's a weapon I think they need to try to.
I would like to see that more. I would like to see more running. I know that they talked about, we didn't get a couple of 3rd and 1, so you quit doing it. I mean, come on. To me, I would like to see more running. I'd like to see more Vance McDonald. And I was actually sort of messing around with this a little bit, but why not put Deontay Johnson in Antonio Brown's old spot and move Juju back to to where he's at?
I don't think they're going to overreact that far.
Well, but what I'm saying is Johnson's skill set is similar to Antonio Brown's. And then you put Juju back in his natural position. And, to me, I'm just saying there are things you can do, I think, to just kind of mix it up a little bit without going way overboard. I'm not talking about benching guys and all this other stuff, but, I think the passing game will get on track this week. I know it sounds crazy, but I actually thought the defense was okay. They weren't great, but they weren't. I don't even know.
I have a problem with that comment.
I don't even know if they're good. But the thing about it is, they were in bad situations all night. They were, they were on the field. It seemed like the entire game. I actually think the defense is going to be okay. I know it sounds crazy, but watching that game, there was enough that I saw where I said, if they can build on a couple of little things here, I think they're going to be okay.
I saw the opposite. I saw total confusion. I saw guys pick themselves out of plays. I saw crossing patterns they weren't ready for.
And all of that stuff is but all of that stuff is very correctable.
It's also very duplicated by Seattle. They better figure it out.
But my point is, but that's what I'm saying. It's very correctable if you watch film. Those things are easy to correct. What I'm talking about is there have been years when I've watched the first game and said, these guys, they're not athletic enough. They're not fast enough. They're not strong enough here. They're getting blown off the ball. They're getting this. They're getting that. I didn't see that. I just saw a whole bunch of mental errors, which I think are easy to correct.
I saw it differently. I saw the defensive line, which I think is good, do nothing hardly any pressure up the middle. And I thought they were going to win that battle. They did not. We'll talk more about it. Your take on Seattle-Pittsburgh coming up. I also want to get into Pitt-Penn State. It's the 100th and likely last meeting for who knows how long. Maybe we'll never see it again, which is a shame. We'll talk about that. Penguins start in 2 days, all sorts of other things, plus a fight in the Pirate Clubhouse. It's all coming up next right here. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, Pittsburgh CW. The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, celebrating 25 years as Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters, where honesty and integrity still matter.